welcome to the event. We're really happy that you're here. We're about to go live in just a few moments, but before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use good speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself. Modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion. In fact, we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are able to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises, that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment. Hi, welcome everyone. Greetings. So nice to be here with you all. For those of you who are joining us for this event, and this is the first time we're meeting, a very special, warm welcome to you. Really great to be here with you. And thanks for deciding to jump on and give it a try. And to those of us who were old friends, and we've been hanging out a lot already, or at least have met before, also a very warm welcome to you. Thanks so much for being here and having this experience together on a special day, a special time. It actually is always a special day, a special time within a certain context, because at every moment, some baby is being born somewhere. At every moment, some person is passing away. And really everything in between. Sometimes an eclipse is nice for meditation and yoga practice at a very basic level, because it helps us feel a little more of the natural gravity of the moment, the natural gravity of our lives, the gravitas of the moment. Nice word, don't you think? Gravitas. It has its energy. That's what in yoga we call nad, when a word really has the ability to kind of transmit the feeling of whatever that word is. And all of the mantras are like that, of all the different traditions, because they're born of that space. That's how they become mantras. They're born out of a space that is in alignment, attunement with a supreme reality, with our deeper reality. And then the love that vibrates out of that, it comes as a sound. And they'll say Allah, or they'll say Jehovah, or they'll say Jah, or they'll say Shiva, or they'll say Krishna, or they'll say all the different things. That's the whole point. They say an infinite number of names. It's not like there's just one name. The expressions of whatever this great mystery is uncountable, as Nanak says. You can't measure it. If you try to measure it, you'll just be endlessly counting. So that's the nature of things that are infinite. You can't find their ending point. And so, however, though, when you can use these sounds, these mantras, or these breath practices, or these yoga postures, asanas, and you put them all together, and we call them kriyas in this context. We can use all of that together to where we can more consistently in our lives feel the gravitas, feel the gravity of our life. The heaviness, the weight, that's actually one of the meanings of the guru, of the word guru, is heavy. You can feel, everybody feels like, oh yeah, the guru, and yes, that's the devotion, that's the love that we want, but sometimes the experience of the guru, and I don't mean a person, although sometimes that is the case, in especially in cultures where the guru figure is an important part of the life. But all of us have the guru energy in our life. And the guru energy is the energy that comes and shows us more of reality. And sometimes it shows us what is real versus not real. And sometimes that expresses itself in our lives as a realization in your heart that this relationship you're in may be coming to an end, or a new one might be starting, and everything in between. There's a birth, there's a death. It's always the cycle. And so sometimes the experiencing the light is not very fun. Sometimes it's heavy and challenging. And that force is represented in the astrological semantic as what they say in India, Shani, which is the word for Saturn. And so Saturn gets a bit of a bad rap, I think, because it's challenging energy. Well, we like more like Venus, love and sensuality and creativity. And we like more like Jupiter, expansiveness, wisdom, prosperity. Well, definitely. But you're going to get equal doses of Shani. So it's a good idea to also learn to appreciate that side of life. That sometimes things are going to be prosperous and expansive, and there's other times they're going to be contractive. And life is going to cause us to slow down, and it's going to cause us to listen and to look at areas of our life that need listening to, that need attention, for us to be happier. But it might not feel like that, you see, if we don't have that context to experience it from, what we're doing here this evening, and using an eclipse moment to do so. Not just eclipse moment now, but then 2 weeks from now, another eclipse. So this whole period of time, all the way through the summer solstice, is highly transformational. And so if I'm in a certain place where I don't want to transform, I just want to stay exactly where I am, and I want things to be as they already are, because that's the point I'm comfortable in. Then this type of thing could be experienced as challenging. But if I'm recognizing that kind of natural at this time, in really all of our lives, transformation is being requested. Don't you think? Particularly now, that's always the case in all times, but sometimes it's even more so, definitely. And we can feel it collectively, and then it all impacts us individually in different ways, in different areas of our lives. In some people's lives, it may be a relationship is getting the most attention. In some areas, it's your career. In other people's, it's the relationship with mom or dad or all of the deeper psychological aspects of what the energy of mom and dad is in our lives, is in our own. So it's always just an attunement of our own psyche, an attunement of our own heart, because the planets are also the chakras. And this is one thing, my astrology mentor, Drupada, who will be joining us, by the way, for the Life Force Academy immersion, coming up in summer solstice week. One thing he often points out is that the planets are the chakras. And it's important, he thinks, and I agree with him, to look at them that way. In that Saturn is Muladhara chakra, your root center. The center of the psyche that has to do with your sense of security, your sense of stability, and what you fear. And to be able to feel what you fear, so that you can be truly more fearless. Because the only way to be more fearless and to have fearlessness is to actually feel and to turn towards what we fear, not avoid it and act like it's not there, or act like I'm too spiritual to have fear, or this kind of, I think that really comes from a stuck masculine energy. This idea of not being able to emote in all of the different ways because it would be a sign of some sort of weakness, whether that's spiritual weakness or masculine weakness, and etc. That's not healthy as we're learning as a society for human beings, because that energy just gets stuck. And when it gets stuck, it causes dis-ease. And so anyhow, the second chakra is Jupiter, Swadhisthana, creativity. And then the third is the navel, is Mars. That's your willpower. Mangala, they say. Mars energy. And in Kundalini Yoga, when you're when you're chanting that, it's called Mangala Charan. One mantra that's called Mangala Charan has its Mars energy. So what we're doing in good meditation practice, good yoga practice, is creating healthy relationships with all the different facets of life that are real and that we have to deal with. Contraction is a facet of life. Expansion is a facet of life. The energy that's coursing through our bodies and mind is something to deal with. So in what channel is it being given? Some people have lots and lots of energy. Some people, the energy is much more mellow. Neither one is good or bad. They're just different karmas, different situations, different predicaments, and everyone has the perfect horoscope. Everyone is magnetized into this life that we've all joined here together in the most perfect body and mind. You already have that. And so, also what is perfect is what we often say, because we struggle to say anything else, we say the soul or the spirit. And of course we know that what is even that? That's what that is just pointing to something that's actually incomprehensible to our normal thinking mind. So at a time in an eclipse, it's more advantageous to do less of the thinking mind, and to get more into the subtlety of the psyche, subtlety of your energy system, subtlety of the body, subtlety of the dharma path of your life. And not to make any decisions, but to get perspective on things. They say eclipse is never a good time. Don't sign your marriage contract on that eclipse day. Don't sign any other contract that's important on that eclipse day, is what they say. They say even don't go out and look at it in India. They don't recommend that. You do what you wish. Most importantly is to just tune in to what our own experience is, not projecting ideas and philosophies onto our experiences too much, but rather just to use these exercises tonight, use these pranayams, the mantras, whatever we end up doing, use them to tune our minds and bodies so we have really clear and grounded sense of our own inner experience of what we are and what our life is all about. And that's what intuition is. It always gives you wisdom perspective on whatever is currently happening in your life. It doesn't give us wisdom perspective on something that may happen some other time. Intuition is the energy of the present moment being metabolized through the lens of our lives. And then that's intuition's not telling the future. Intuition is giving you wisdom that you need at the moment you need it. And so if we can attune our minds and our bodies to that part of what we could say the planets. They're not. It's not really planets. You don't think of them so much as, yes, they are planets in the ecliptic. They call that in the yogic astrology the Kal Parush. Kal is time, and Parush is like the great consciousness. This whole reality from the yogic point of view and mind is one living being, really. And we get that, and we're starting to understand that even in our scientific world with things like the Gaia principle. But it's not just the Mother Earth, but it's all the stars in the firmament and all the motion of the galaxy and all the presence of where we are. It's an emanation of consciousness itself. And that consciousness outside of ourselves is also the same type of architecture inside of ourselves that then manifests as the chakras, the different energy points of our mind and our body and our life's direction. So if you can improve the life force environment, then you literally are improving your horoscope. Everybody wants a better horoscope, but nobody wants to hear that their horoscope's already perfect. Most people look and say, oh, my horoscope is broken. Because we all have those insecurities, because we all have weaknesses, and we all have strengths. So right now, when the moon is in Scorpio, we'll feel more instability, because the moon is all about security. The moon is the mind, not so much the intellectual thinking mind. That's more represented, Mercury, Vishuddha chakra. But the deep subconscious, unconscious emotional mind as well is the moon. And the moon is always looking for security. That's why they say when it's in the constellation of Taurus, it's in its point of exaltation. That means it's a fixed sign. It's Mama Earth sign. It enjoys the material wealth, and it enjoys the steadiness and stability of that earthy element. But when it's in Scorpio, which is 180 degrees opposite in the sky. So do you know this? That a planet that's considered in its point of exaltation, if you go 180 degrees in the sky, that's the point of what they call debilitation. So the moon right now, and it's not necessary to be really interested even in an astrology for this. This is This is just building some context so we can work with our own energy and work with our own mind. So when it's at its point of debilitation, the moon, which sounds horrible, but it's not necessarily. Again, nothing is good or bad. It's only the context that makes it so. So what we're doing here is we're building healthy context for us to live our lives so that we're not tripping on a debilitated moon. We're not tripping on an eclipse. We're just getting in alignment with it, being wise, understanding the nature of energy, the natural currents of energy, just like, okay, we're going to row this canoe. We're going to go over to that way. There's two streams, one's going down and one's going up. Well, it's going to be a lot harder to paddle that canoe when you're facing the current. If you can turn the boat around, there may be a little rocky still, but it's much easier to go downstream. That's what the sciences of yoga, Ayurveda, Vedic astrology are all about. How do you first understand the essential energies of our lives, which also means our own emotions and our own traumas and our own dharmas, our own karmas and our own dharmas, our own deeper purposes of our life, what it is we're here learning, exploring, and what also are we very skillful at already. And becoming cognizant of all those things. Not putting one emphasis on what's weak or too much emphasis on what's strong. Looking at it all with a deeper type of trust that things are as they should be already. And we'll grow within that. That's why Scorpio is considered the point of the moon's debilitation, because the moon, the mind, is waxing and waning. It's always looking for a sense of steadiness and security. And Scorpio is all about transformation. So that's where this eclipse is happening this evening. And the eclipse axis for the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse are Taurus and Scorpio in Vedic astrology, which is sidereal system. And so those points were at the time a person was born will be very influential on kind of what area of our life an eclipse season will be probably impacted most by. For some people, more relationships, other people, career, other people, health, other people. It doesn't mean negative health. It could be positive health because it's about what? Transformation. And so what we want to do is not worry about things we don't have control over. Be paying attention to the things that we do have control over. And we can gain more and more control over our mind and how we and our disposition towards the experiences that are happening in our lives, because we can't control. For some people right now, life is really going pretty amazing. And for others, it's really, really difficult right now. And neither one of those is better from this perspective. As when things are really comfortable, you can be very blindsided sometimes. But when you're in a lot of suffering, life has gotten your attention already. But the question is, do we resist it? And then do we fall deeper into like a sulking? And do we go very negative when the challenges come? Then it can be a negative. But if we take care of ourselves in a way that works for us, then we can hold a broader perspective on the challenges that we're facing. We're not being delusionally positive about it. We're being very real that we're having a very hard time. And yet, we would be lying to ourselves if we said that it's also not a very worthwhile time. And a very medicinal time, and something that if I can get back far enough to look at it clearly, I can definitely say with truth that it's exactly what should be going on. Somehow I can't rationalize it. I can just know that intuitively. You know what I'm saying? That's more the feminine quality of the psyche versus always just the having to rationalize, and of course we need rationale. These are important things, but there's certain things within our own hearts that we won't be able to explain to anyone else fully, that really belong to us, our own intuitive wisdom and our tender heart. And so anyhow, the moon is debilitated in Scorpio because Scorpio is the constellation of change and transformation, so it's nothing stable about it. And so if you try to grab a hold of that type of security, it'll be very fleeting in moments like these. Moments like these, the security in a sort of catch-22 comes from not worrying about, to knowing that there's a deeper security that will be coming along later, but right now is about the transformation and trusting that our security comes from something much more subtle, trusting the intelligence of life, intelligence of prana, intelligence of the movement and the animation of whatever this all is. Having the real sense that it is love. So that's what I mean. If we can take care of ourselves, then we can hold those perspectives very genuinely. And how do we take care of ourselves? Well, that's up to each one of us to determine. Of course, good eating, good all the different things, learning all the things that really seem to fit for us. There's too many things to learn them all, just totally overwhelming. It's just like, what am I resonating with right now? And so taking care of our prana, our life force, taking care of our minds and our psyches, trying on a regular basis once a day, if possible. Bring the mind and the prana of the body into relative equanimity. That's what we're going to be working to do this evening and over the next few weeks. Starting this evening, and then 2 weeks from now, we have the solar eclipse event. And then starting on June 17th, a Thursday evening, and ending on the summer solstice day, a Sunday evening.
we're going to, my wish and my goal is to really create stabilization, but by going through this transformational period thoroughly. And that's actually when you intentionally do it and you lean into it, it's pretty fun. It's not all austere and difficult all the time and crying all the time. Yeah, sure, there's be some tears shed, but you will feel great by shedding those tears. But it might be laughter, 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 and probably all, and definitely all of the above. And so this isn't some, so hard thing. It's actually a very joyful thing. But it does take, to get to that joy, it takes kind of leaning into, to let me go to the next level of depth in my life. Let me feel even deeper. Let me access even a more subtle layer of my intuition. And a more even expansive and less rigid field of my heart and love and warmth and compassion towards others. That's what helps me be happy. And how do I create a momentum of that so like you can just spin the prayer wheel, how I think about it, but making your heart the prayer wheel. I put outside, I have at our home like a granny unit, little side house, that kind of my domain, my yogi man cave. And it is kind of that. It has like beautiful altar. It's like amazing artwork, but it also has a big old TV where I watch NBA. And so it does serve as both of those things. But I put it on the outside. I put this beautiful Tibetan prayer wheel that someone made. And so that when I walk in, and I didn't come up with this idea, I learned it from these beautiful Tibetan people. When I come in the room, I turn it. When I come out the room, I turn it. And not that I have necessarily some illusion that, me spinning this wheel is going to help so many people. If it does, I would love that. But mostly what I know for sure is it helps me. Because it helps me remember that my happiness is dependent on my genuine feeling of compassion towards others. And that's what I think our whole world needs. That's the transformation right now that we're really like kind of battling with in a certain way. And that's also Scorpio, ruled by which planet? Mars. So the question is Mars just going to be a destroyer, or is Mars going to be a Dharma warrior, a defender of what is right, of what is true, is what is real, of what is love, like a bodhisattva? And it's the same energy, but which expression, which context do we want to experience? I'll vote for Dharma warriorship. And then you get into the heart center, that's Venus. Love, pleasure, compassion. And then the throat is Mercury, which is Buddhi. And Buddha, they call Mercury. And it's on the basic level, yes, intellect, the thinking mind, the intelligence, metabolizations of thoughts, feelings, emotions, desires. But at its most subtle and most important, I can say it like this, most subtle and therefore most important level, Buddha, Mercury, Vishuddha chakra, is about discerning what is real versus what is not real. That's why it's called Buddha. And that's why the Buddha was called Buddha, is that which has now merged into supreme reality. And then it's all these different names for it. And so then you get to here, and that's the sun of the third eye. And that Paramahansa Yogananda said, the medulla oblongata, the moon. So those are the feminine and masculine polarity of the pituitary, Ajna chakra. And Ajna is the commanding, that's what the word means. It means authority or command, Ajna. And so what the idea there is that we want to have your higher wisdom to be the authority of the lower centers. And so therefore, instead of getting destruction at the level of Mars or navel center, third chakra, you'll get the willpower energy that moves you deeper and deeper into your own personal dharma. And into, we hope, of course, the dharma itself. That's reality. That's that which we have no words for. That's why we have to instead just write poems, make music, meditate, go into those deep spaces. And that's what I mean by my wish, is that we can use all of these through the summer solstice and go through that immersion we're going to be doing on the summer solstice, so that we can bring ourselves more consistently and have developed the momentum of it, the habit of it, into a state of equanimity, where we can very naturally and spontaneously access our intuitive heart, which will all continue to give us perspective on our lives on the day-to-day basis. And that's what we need, because every day we're making important decisions. Every day we're living is precious. And we can make our lives in that way very, very meaningful, because everyone's lives already are very meaningful, but we can tune into the meaningfulness of it, not in a thinking way, in a heart way. That's what it is to be Dharma warriors. And so tonight, what we're going to do is to tune in and to move our bodies and use our breath. Maybe even do some chanting together. And if you're new to this, just, ease in as much as you want, jump in as deep as you want, but just take care of yourself. It's for no previous experience is really necessary. It just kind of meets you where you're at, this Kundalini Yoga, as we do it in Life Force Academy. But everyone, please do, you are in charge of taking care of yourself, and also enjoy yourself. Have some water nearby, and do your best, of course, but also anytime you feel you need to relax, feel free to relax, of course. That's one of the nice things about it being virtual, is sometimes when it's a huge room full of people and everybody's doing it, we feel less, maybe we feel more shy about relaxing if we really feel we need to. So the point being is, do your best, have fun, not too big of a deal, but during an eclipse time, the yogis say that any sadhana, that's what we'll be doing, meditation practice, yoga practice, mantra practice, any type of practice that we're doing in an effort and an intention to align with the deeper goodness, the innate goodness of life and the innate wisdom of life, which is what all that is exponentially more powerful during an eclipse time. So that's the positive side of it. It might create instability and transformation, and that may be accompanied by great suffering. But it may not be. It might be accompanied by great pleasure too, and really everything else in between. And maybe some areas of our life very pleasurable, others more difficult. So we just know that we're going to be good no matter what, and we're going to bring our best energy to it. This is how I take care of myself, so I can maintain that perspective. And when you maintain the perspective, it's not that you're just maintaining a static perspective. You're actually going deeper and deeper and deeper and more substantive and more real about the dharmic perspective that applies to you. And that comes through your own wisdom, not from someone else telling us. Someone else can tell us stuff and we can learn and have amazing teachers. Of course, I'm just like, I have no idea what my life would be like without the incredible teachers I've been blessed to have in my life and continue to have. But ultimately, nothing can teach you but experience. If it's going to be real wisdom, real prosperity, real dharma. Okay, take your hands and come into the prayer pose that you can make a little heat. Press the palms together and lift the chest and the knuckles of your thumbs into the sternum. And close the eyes down and take a deep inhalation through your nose. Fully exhale. See if you can relax the gaze and where the root of the nose meets the skull bone in between the two eyebrows. Feeling a gentle pressure, like you're coordinating your brain hemispheres and encouraging your glands to secrete through the very sensitive yet firm pressure of the mudra of the palms. And there's also, if possible, a gentle lift through the perineum, pelvic floor. and a softening of the heart as the shoulders come back, the chin slightly tucked, and the eyes, the optic gaze relaxes into the third eye area. Ajna, pituitary. And then inhaling deeply through the nose from that space, suspending it for a moment, and then exhaling through your nose. And just doing that a few times, inhaling deeply, suspending the breath, keeping it in, yet relaxing the upper body and relaxing the mind. And then exhale, push all the breath all the way out. Now keep it out for a moment. Lift up through the perineum, rectum, sex organ. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath for a moment. Soften the heart. Third eye is the gaze. Release the shoulder blades down the back. Feel a natural alignment with your spine and the earth. And exhale. And keep doing that on your own for a few moments. And in a few moments, we'll use the mantra to tune in. Vibrating Om, forehead, Namo, heart chakra, Gurudev, opening up our central channels, lifting the intuitive wisdom energy, tuning it, aligning ourselves with the goodness of life. Namo. Feeling that long line of ancestors, teachers, those who have become before us and has really cultured the soil for us so that we can live the lives and have the opportunities that we have. We benefit from the wisdom that has been generated and passed. And so if we lose track of that in our hearts, we lose track of our own wisdom. Inhale deep. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale deep. And exhale. And let's start to warm up our spine and our breath and our bodies. Come on the hands and knees. And we'll start what we call cat-cow. Inhaling, head is up. Exhaling, head is down. Chandra is here with us, helping us out. Inhaling, the head comes up. Exhaling, the head comes down. And use the breath as your most important point of focus. Deeper the breath.
Beautiful. Just like you're making the spine nice and supple, but using a deep, substantively rhythmic breath through the nose. Go your own pace, but make the breath rhythmically deep. Spread your fingers wide as you continue and feel into the earth with every finger in the palm of the hand and the tops of your feet. Press gently into the earth to kind of leverage your life force, your ability to move. Inhale, the head is up. Exhale, the head is down. Push the breath out. And good. Relax child's pose. Bring your forehead down to the floor and the butt back to the heels. You can bring your palms together. You can relax your jaw and your tongue and your mind. And just allow yourself to feel nurtured by the earth herself, by your just willingness to allow your mind and your body to relax for a few moments. You work really hard already in life just to keep going, just to be on the planet Earth in a human body. Allowing ourselves to be nurtured is so important. And we don't always need other human beings to nurture us. The earth herself sometimes can help out. Even our own inner motherly consciousness and heart, if we can tune into it. And so when we work with the life force in this way, it helps us to open up the energy system of the body, so we do naturally experience the deep loving blissfulness of our own very heart and body. And it's not, and come back up and come into easy pose. And that's not some fluffy new age concept. This is what all the great sages has been saying, not including myself in that category, by the way, but all those that I learned from and that have been across boundaries, across cultures, across traditions. So all the ones who've investigated and been able to come back and report and say, good news, the nature of reality is bliss. As I like Tenzin Bob, Robert Thurman often points out, he says like a Buddha will become a Buddha and then come back and say, well, good news, nature of reality is bliss, but I can't really tell you about it. I can just kind of put out these paths and these points. And so first comes like the Four Noble Truths. And then you have all these different 8-limbed paths. Because I can't really explain it, but here's a poem, you know?
Hands are on Gyan Mudra, index finger to thumb, palms facing up. Inhale deep. So the breath will be like this, through the nose. Through the nose, equal exhale and inhale. Ladies, if you're on your moon period, just do a long, deep breath. Or if you're pregnant, long, deep breath. Otherwise, see if you can catch that rhythm. Keep going. Now inhale deep. Suspend the breath and see this neutralize. Suspend the breath, suspend the mind. Third eye goes the gaze. Be very still, soft body of mind. Exhale. And then again, inhale deep. Same mudra. Fully exhale, then inhale. Try to hit the rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now do it, but bring a subtlety. Inhale. Suspend the breath. Relax the mind. Gaze at third eye. Gently lift perineum. Exhale. Good. Raise your arms up like this. Stretch up. Inhale. Stretch through your spine. Make your fingers tight and wide. Exhale. Now inhale again. And just shake them. Shake, 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 shake. Just kind of shake off any stagnation, something that's been wearing on you, stress of the life, uncertainties, whatever it is, just loosen up, shake it off. There's got to be 10,000 cheesy pop songs about shake it off, relax. Okay, good job. No hate on cheesy pop songs. I know a lot of y'all love them. But they will not make the Life Force Academy playlist. Okay, have some water, maybe some tea, whatever you have. Okay, this is fun. We're making good progress. Here we go. You're going to come sitting on your heels. If you can't sit on your heels, you can just stay seated cross-legged, or you can be in a chair. All of that works. Your hands will be on your lap. Your chest lifted, your chin slightly in. And we're all using the same rhythm if possible. If it's too fast for you, you can go slower. Let's see if you can make it work. Like this. Inhaling as you lift through the sternum, exhaling back, eyes relax down, gentle third eye gaze. Na, na, na.
पाप की जन ले काबल उताया पाप की जन ले काबल उताया चोरी मंगे दान वेला दो शर्म धर्म दोए चाप खलोए कूड़ फिरे प्रधान वेला लो.
Keep going, 30 seconds. Use the breath through the nose. Just create a rhythm, create a groove, stay with it. Listen to the breath. Imagine it's chanting the mantra Nam Sat Nam Sat Nam.
जात सनाती होर हिंदवाणियां ए पी लेखे लाए वे लालो खून के सोहले गावी है नानक खून के सोहले गावी है नानक रत का कुंगू.
Inhale, neutralize, lift through the heart, elongate the spine, tuck the chin in, meditate the third eye, suspension of the mind, suspension of the body and breath. Lift through the mulban, root lock. Exhale. Bravo. Come back sitting. I guess a different way of sitting. We are sitting what they call sukhasana. Kind of loosely translated, easy pose. Hands on your shoulders. Inhale left, exhale right. Heart is soft. The elbows up at shoulder height. Mind meditative, breath rhythmic.
हिंदुस्तान समाल सी बोला अमन 78 जान सतान में अमन 78 जान सतान में अमन 78 जान सतान में और भी उठ सी मर्द का चेला और भी उठ सी मर्द का चेला सच की बाणी 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 नानक आके सच की बाणी नानक आके
To the center now, inhale. Suspend the breath. Lift through the Mulaban rectum, sex organ, navel. Third eye goes the gaze. And exhale. Beautiful. You'll take your hands to your knees. The ajna, pituitary, when we say root of the nose meets the skull bone, gently bringing your optic gaze between the two eyebrows. But over time, you learn to relax it. And it's not something that takes a lot of pressure or anything. It's just gently drawing the gaze. With time, the more the prana is worked with, the more you have the ability to softly concentrate instead of so tightly concentrating. And when we can softly concentrate, then we can sustain our concentration for greater periods of time. That concentrates the prana and balances the prana in the body. That causes the natural energy of your life to blossom and to bloom in beautiful and happy ways. Those are things we can control. And so, simple things. This is my favorite ragi my personal favorite ragi from the Punjab of India by Nirmal Singh. Hands on your knees, heart lifted up, chin is slightly in. Like this. Try. Lift up gently through your core, pelvic floor. Every exhale, just let the shoulder blades release. If that's just too quick for you, you can like a but if you can, do it with substantive rhythmic breathing, yet soften the movement. Third eye goes the gaze.
शैतान हुए डालो मुसलमानिया पढ़े कतेबा कष्ट में करे खुदाए बेलालो जात सनाती और हिंदवानिया.
Inhale, squeeze up the shoulders. Squeeze out some of that tension. Gently but good. Exhale. Very gentle neck rolls. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Other direction. Inhale, center. And because I know our customer support is going to get a lot of, what was that music's? Just before we move on to the next thing, that I said that by Nirmal, B-H-A-I, and then Nirmal, N-I-R-M-A-L, and you can go to your Spotify or wherever you get your music, and sing like my last name, Singh, S-I-N-G-H. All the other music is Simrit tonight, I believe. Okay, stretch the legs out wide. Flex the feet, make the energy into the toes like Chandra is doing. It's nice to have a Chandra in the house on the night of the full moon. Inhale, center, turn to the left, exhale down. And inhale up, and other side, exhale down. Fill the lungs, inhale deep and keep going.
सच की बाणी नानक आखे सच की बाणी नानक आखे सच सुनाए सी सच की बेला सच सुनाए सी सच की बेला जैसी में आवे खस्म की बाणी तैसड़ा करी ज्ञान वेला लो.
Inhale, center. And then hinge down to the center. Extend out through your chest. And breathe long and deep. Inhaling, feeling like the prana, your essential life force energy, the subtle nerve current. As you inhale, goes down the spine, through the base of the spine, into the earth. And as you exhale, that same prana, nurturing from the earth, creating good stability, lifting up through the heart center, and then reaching the crown of the head, nourishing and nurturing the upper centers, pineal, pituitary, the skull and the brain. And as you inhale, the prana moves down through the base of the spine. And then as you exhale, the prana lifts up through the organism, nurturing the crown and everything in between. Okay, and inhale and relax, shake your legs out, come back easy pose for a moment. We're going to be using this breath of fire again, and it'll be to this rhythm, like may take if this is new to you, some of these may take a few times of practicing, but with no time you'll have this. It's no big deal. So if it feels good but it's hard, just keep going, keep working with it. It just takes a little time. So you're going to like this. Equal exhale, inhale. The inhale is as significant as the exhale. That's Ida Pingala, Prana Apana, Rahu Ketu, like that. Equalization. Now give it a little more strength, yet keep your mind and face relaxed. Now put the mantra on top of it like that. Satam, 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 satam. Like you're vibrating the sound through the breath rhythm. Satam, 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 satam. Inhale. Suspension. Exhale. Come onto your backs. I just want to do a couple exercises because I really feel we will all benefit from building this deeper vitality in our body right now. Just a couple exercises where we can work with our core energy, our navel energy. Help us tap the deeper, it's not just tapping the deeper vitality of the body when you work with your core. The body is the mind. The mind and the body are not two different things. The body is a part of the psyche. And so when you work with your core, you're also working with those centers of our psyche, giving more stability, vitality to our mind when we strengthen the core of the body. Inhale deeply, bring the feet together, legs together. Hands by the side. If it strains your lower back, palms underneath your butt. Show them how that is, Chandra. Like that, okay? Otherwise, hands by the sides, palms facing the body or slightly facing upward towards the ceiling. You're going to take a deep inhale, fully exhale. Then the legs and the head come up 6 to 12 inches. Inhale deepest. Now 25 seconds of this right now. Eyes on your toes, concentrate, try it. Hold the posture, inhale. Now draw your navel in, lift through the perineum, rectum, sex organ, then under the belly button, the abdomen, draw it in, deep, deep, so it shakes almost, deep. Relax. Good job, good job. That was just round 1. One more round only, though. I can't tell you how much this helps me, this exercise. And of course, not just me. countless others. Countless are the ones who are finding benefits of stretch pose. Take another deep inhale. Fully exhale. You ready? Fully inhale one more time. As you exhale, feel like you're grounding the energy of your navel into the earth. Exhale. Now come into the posture, eyes on the toes, deepest inhale. See if now, this time, make your mind relax. Keep the breath substantively rhythmic, move the navel, mind relaxed. Just give it a try. Lift through your chest, sternum though. Release your shoulder blades down. Almost there, keep going, if you can. 10 seconds. Hold the posture, inhale deep. Draw the pelvic floor in, root lock. And now draw the navel in deep. Draw the navel in deep. And relax. Bravo, everyone. Relax now. Really relax. Let your arms out some. Let your legs out some. Let your mind relax. Relax your tongue and your jaw. Don't worry for just a few moments. I'll let you know when the few moments is over. Don't worry about a thing, please. Just see if you can. Only thing to worry about is relax the tongue, relax the mind, and let the worries dissipate away. Let the earth be the nurturer. It doesn't matter if you're in the 15th story of a high-rise in Manhattan. The earth is still available. And your very body is the earth. It's not just the ground outside. It's the energy of stability, solidity. Water is the energy of moisture and flow and fluidity, devotion. Fire is the energy of transformation, metabolization, wisdom. Air is the energy of motion, nervous system, thoughts, movement, ideas. Ether, Akash, is the energy of space, the medium through which all of life travels. Somehow, in real time, we're together through these Ethernet channels. But even the Ethernet of the web, of the World Wide Web, is slow in comparison to the ever-presence of connectivity heart to heart, presence to presence, transcends time and space. Beautiful. Hug the knees into the chest. Bring the nose up towards the knees. Release the shoulder blades down. Inhale deep. Breath of fire. Balance your digestive power at the navel. Strengthen your inner energy system, your inner will and vitality. All of that is connected. It's the same system. Stay with it. Final moments. Inhale deeply. Inhale deep, release the shoulders but squeeze up tightly. And relax. Beautiful. Okay, hug the knees to your chest. Rock and roll a few times. You know this mantra they're chanting? I'll tell you about this later. This mantra, Sat Nam. Sat is like truth. Nam is like reality, identity, name. Is you can't translate these mantras, but you're gonna come sitting on your heels. Because what they're not meant to really be translated so much. They're meant to be experiencing the energy. Sat is truth. It's like opening it's using the sound vibrations that emanate from those spaces to help us to attune more to them, to open up those spaces within our own consciousness. Sat nam sat. So a sat, the tongue touches the upper palate behind the teeth. Nam, and then when you say nam, the lips vibrate. Nam, and the nam is the heart. Sat, sat, and then nam, nam. And when you say sat, in this case, your navel is going to come up and in. That's not the belly button, but the abdomen just below it. Sat. And when you say nam, the navel's going to relax. The heart is lifted up, and you're going to draw the gaze, third eye, and just for a moment, try like sat, nam, using the sound vibrations, like you would use a pranayama, a breath. Nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit. Yes, and now what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands interlace, index fingers out, okay? Arms are up, chest lifted, shoulders release, like this. Male identifying, right thumb over left. Female identifying, left over right. If you don't identify in one or the other, you choose. Heart wide open, shoulders release, third eye is the gaze. And then you're going to inhale to begin, but then don't worry about your breath. And you're going to chant, sit, nam, 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 sit, keep chanting. The mind will likely fight with you. All sorts of emotional or physical resistances may arise. Try to keep going, keep chanting. More like it's a love affair though, less like a chiseling pick. Maybe a little of that, but more like a courtship. Opening the heart center. Wisdom mind. Vibrate the sound, tip of the tongue, the lips. It has a sensuality to it as well. Sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam. Vibrate. The mind becomes distracted, bring it back to the navel, to the third eye, and to the feeling of the tip of the tongue and the lips. Those are anchoring points.
So that then most importantly, you can get into the vibe. You can get into the love. You can get into the feel and the rhythm and the expansiveness of the lifting and the elevating of our life. Chant it out. Third eye gaze. Sit, nam, 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 sit, nam. Yeah, chant your life. Sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit, nam, sit. Hold the posture, deep inhale. Draw the gaze, the third eye. Rectum, sex organ, navel, up and in. Hold the posture, exhale completely, and push the breath all the way out. Keep the breath out, lift the root lock, lift the chest, tuck the chin, lift your diaphragm, Mahabandha. Inhale deep, Mudabandha, rectum, sex organ, navel. Shoulder blades release down, fingertips extend up. And draw the gaze of the third eye. Exhale all the breath out. Keep the breath out, Mahabandha, root lock. Lift through the diaphragm, lift through your chest, tuck through the chin. Deep inhale. Root lock. Where your attention goes, the prana flows. Third eye. Exhale complete. Push the breath out. Root lock. Lift the chest, tuck the chin, lift through your diaphragm. Inhale and relax. Beautiful. Relax, relax. Take your time. But then as you're ready, make your way onto your backs. And for just a few minutes, really please endeavor to deeply relax. Let the mind and the jaw and the tongue, and the chest and the upper body all relax. The pelvic bowl
and all its organs relax. Allow the upper legs, the big muscles, and then the lower legs, feet, toes, and the extremities of your arms, fingers, everything just using loving command to your body, everything relax. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Move the fingers and move the toes. Rub the palms, make some heat. Rub the soles of the feet, make some heat. All right, cat stretch. And then hug the knees to the chest, rock and roll a few times, come up. And then just very simply like this, left hand is on your heart, right hand, your palm facing up, palm is cupped, shoulders release, eyes close. And you're going to make an O shape of your mouth. And inhale through the O-shaped puckered mouth like you're drinking a nectar breath, like a... And then meditatively exhale through your nose. Keep the body as still as possible in the posture. Like your mind and body in magnetic field. Are a type of majestic antenna. For the natural goodness, wisdom and love. Hold the right hand cupped as if you were holding water. Heart softened, gaze softened into the third eye. Inhaling like you're breathing in life-giving energy, and exhaling, moving out that which is no longer serving us. Consciously going through a healthy transformation process, bringing in the new, shedding the old. Meditatively aligning your mind, your heart, your body with the earth and the moon and the sun and the stars. The grand architecture of which we are a part of. We are the living architecture. Breathe, open that. Like you're kissing the breath. Hold your position and continue to breathe. Feel your body is beautiful, regal, majestic in your mind, in the spirit of life that animates. The you that is infinite and gives life to your body and your mind. Attune to that. Breathe. Now what you're going to do, stay in the posture, make your mouth puckered O-shaped. Then rhythmic breath through the mouth. Rhythmically substantive, but not aggressive. Meditative, but rhythmically deep. Now keep going, but switch your hands. Heart held high, shoulders released, navel moving. Hand cupping water. Chest softened, mind meditative. Now keep going. Now the hands come out, straight out to the sides like this. Palms facing up. Fingers firm, fingertip to fingertip, stretch out. Have the shoulder blades released down the back, eyes go to the third eye, heart open wide. Fingers straight now. "25 seconds. Inhale. Fingertip to fingertip. Tighten your fingers, stretch out. Lift through the mulban, root lock. Hold the posture like a cannon through your mouth, exhale. Inhale. Fingertip to fingertip, heart is open wide. Stretch out and lift up through your core. Hold the position, exhale. Final time, inhale. Suspend the mind, suspend the breath, lift through the core, fingertip to fingertip, touch the walls outside of you. Center the prana inside of you. And exhale. Slowly relax into a very meditative, easy space. Spaciousness of the heart, of the mind, that allows all things to be just as they are. feeling the joy of that. And inhale. And that's what that stanza of Nanak is saying. Nanak Bhagata Vigas. Vigas means bliss. It's usually how it's translated, but it's a special word with a special connotation. And its context, its connotation means continually opens and blossoms and blooms, but not blossom and then stop blossoming, like a flower that continually blossoms and blooms. The infinite energy expressing itself through our lives, our hearts, our minds. So I'll read you a translation of one of these Sunya stanzas from the great Indian sage Guru Nanak. Sunya is deeply listening, Shravana, Sunya. Not listening to the mind, but listening to what we hear, to what we feel, to what we know when the mind stops and the heart takes over. Sunya, deeply listening, and recognize the ocean of virtues within you. Deeply listening, and become in tune with the spirit, perfectly balanced in your own humanity and nobility. Deeply listening, even blind you will find your way. Deeply listening, understand the unfathomable. Nanak, those who surrender themselves in love continually blossom and bloom. Deeply listening, all our sorrows and errors depart. Okay, my friends, inhale deeply. And raise your arms up like so. And shake, 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 shake. We don't want to get too spacey all day for the eclipse, but stay grounded and know that it's a wonderful time. It's a time to let things happen. So what I wanted to say is, well, first, this recording was birthed at Life Force Academy immersion this last summer solstice time. And the Sat Kriya, Sat Nams. There's always at some point in those experiences where it just does feel like the heavens open up. It takes work to get to that place, but then it does feel, and often it's the musical part of the experience that helps to open it up. It's a huge part of what we do. And so for this Life Force Academy immersion that's happening, we are going to have, and I'm so grateful because this is the first time since the pandemic, and it's probably this thing I miss more than anything else, is having the whole live music experience with the whole Simrat band. And some of you may not know who they are yet. I know lots of you, probably most of you do. It's pretty extraordinary to do this work with that going on. And while we'll have about 100 or so people at the in-person immersion here in the Sierra Nevada foothills of Northern California, where Life Force Academy headquarters are and where we live, we have to still keep it at half capacity, and we are going to stream it though worldwide. And one of the gifts of last year for us was, well, we've been doing online stuff for a decade or more, but we really got even much better at it in the last year when it was the main thing we were focusing on in terms of delivering an online experience. We've been working on it for a long time, and then we were able to just focus on it fully. And those 2 virtual immersions we did are, as to me, as they were great. And as wonderful as the in-person, just different. And so this one is the first time we're really doing both in this way, where the vast majority of people will be taking it from their homes. People get together with their friends and do it. Sometimes they'll even get an Airbnb, get out of their normal house and do it together. Or some people just solo in their little bedroom or wherever, or in their living room. All sorts of ways you can do it. But it is wonderfully transforming. And not just, oh, it's transforming, it helps me deal with all my crap. Yeah, sure, but mostly what it does is help us live in our goodness and live in our happiness, regardless of what's going on in our life right now, because we all have things going on in our life right now, myself included, of course. So we're all in the same reality together, and we all interact and impact. That's why when we come together and we do this, it is totally different than just trying to do it on our own. And so this isn't a live event that we're also going to stream so people can see it. The live portion, the online portion of this is at least as important to us than the in-person, because we know there will be far more people taking it online than there will be in person. So we're emphasizing and putting our creative energy into the experience of both. And this is a place where we've been going every summer for over a decade. We know it well. We can lock into that space up there. And I want to invite you to attend. If you enjoyed this, and of course 2 weeks from now we have the summer solar eclipse, and then the summer solstice. So the immersion starts the evening of Thursday, June 17th, and ends on the summer solstice day on June 20th. There's 9 different sessions to this experience. And even if you can't attend them all live, you have a live and the recordings of them on demand. You can, because so many people, we have people do these in at least 60 different countries around the world, so different time zones in that. So it's very flexible. And so the 9 sessions are based around what they call in the Vedic system, the Navagraha. And what we could loosely translate as the 9 planets, but they're not all planets. Graha means, it's kind of a force of life that causes you to experience things. So what this immersion is called, this summer solstice immersion this year, is called the 9 sacred forces. And each session, of which session number 1 is Thursday evening, number 2 is Friday morning, number 3 is Friday afternoon, number 4 is Friday evening, and that Friday evening session will be led by my astrology mentor and good friend, an amazing person and brilliant teacher, Drupada, John McDonald. And Saturday morning is the next session, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Drupada will be back, Sunday morning, and Sunday afternoon, and then finale live Simrit concert with their whole band on this at the peak of the summer solstice moment, because the summer solstice peaks somewhere around 8 p.m. Pacific that Sunday night. So this is exquisite. It's going to be so fun, and we are all our energy is focused on it at this point, and it's going to be exciting. I always say this every year, and it always so far has proven to be true. It'll be the best one ever that we've ever done. It keeps doing that. And so in all the afternoon sessions, the full Simrit band will be playing live during the sessions. These songs are born in those sessions. That Sat Kriya, they never rehearsed before that. We just said, no, I was just, can you do something to this? And that's what they did. And then this too, I say, can you do something to that Sunya stanza? They didn't rehearse it. They just did this right on out the gate. And this music is born. And the reason I mention that, number 1, it's cool, and number 2, it's indicative of the type of creative energy we're all just kind of tapping into as we do this work. It really does help us do that, connect to our own life's creativity and sense of purpose and meaning and healing, and allows us to gain wider perspectives on whatever it is that we're navigating right now in our lives. So that is the invitation. And you can read all about it. You can read about all the 9 sessions on the webpage here. And as of today, this evening, we just opened up the early bird pricing, which is only available till June 1st at midnight, assuming that's midnight Pacific. They didn't indicate that, but all the details we'll send to you too. But the early bird pricing is is only $199. Or if it makes it easier, you can do 2 payments of $114. So that's really good. They didn't tell me what the regular price is, but I know it's much higher than that. I can find out. But you can also see too. Let me see. It's $498 regular price. So early bird pricing right now is $199. Or you can do the payment plan, which is 2 payments of $114, if that makes it easier. We do the best we can to make it as easy for everyone to come as possible. And we're also a business with lots of people, and not lots, we're a small little business, but relative to me and my world, 10 people is a lot of people, 15 people is a lot of people, and we put our everything into this, so it does take a lot of resources to make it happen. And so that's the deal. You can, if you join in now, just takes a minute to register. And by the way, when you get this, you have it indefinitely, lifetime access. So even if you can't do all the sessions that weekend, even if you can do a good portion of them, or you can do them the next weekend or something like that, it's available to you. You'll have that course for yourself. Anytime, log in. We'll even, once the event's over, we'll create download links so you can download it and maybe do it, on your camping trip where you don't have internet reception or something like that. Whatever. So that's the deal. And if you click on there, it'll take you to the checkout page. It just takes a moment. It's super easy. You don't have to be technologically savvy for any of this, but we do recommend use good speakers if possible, and use, whatever good visual and audio you have, because it's an experience, and we put a lot of creative energy into the production value, thanks to my good brother over here, Aki, who does all the videography work for us and his team. And so this is going to be a very cool experience, and I want to encourage you to come if this is resonating with you and you feel called to do this together. We would love to have you, and that's all. That's the deal. But let's seal this experience together, and I just want to again thank you for being here this evening, and please do join us in 2 weeks for the Eclipse, and join us for all the things in the Life Force Academy if you can't make it to the immersion. But if you can do that, that's what I really encourage. And so here we go, my friends. Take your hands to prayer pose. Always when we do good practice, good sadhana, it's to end it with a wish. That not only maybe this helped our lives, but it also helps the lives of others. And bringing our families, friends into our circle. And the endless beings, and even our adversaries, wishing love. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to go for everyone who's not already on there. We always open a Zoom room as our kind of Sangha space. We don't stream the class in there, but we get in there so we can feel and see each other's presence a little bit, even if our video's off. And I'm going to go hang out in there for a few, so would love to connect with you all. If you're not already in there, you want to come hang over there. It's on your webpage there. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Aki. Thank you, Chandra. Thank you, whole LFA team. Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Looking forward to solar eclipse and summer solstice. Sanam.
In a lot of ways, you see, regardless of whether you take this all literally or not, this is the training of how to develop the to become a happy person. Do you get that out of it? And that's the process we're going through right now. How do I continue to go through my process so that I now have the capacity to orient myself towards helping others?
Is amazing. It really helps you to be more grounded, and it really helps de-stress and takes away your anxiety and your fears. It's such an amazing tool to really become freer as a person and to become more of yourself and get comfortable with yourself.
So that's what a householder yoga life is about, is you're using the rajas of your life, the activity of your life, the stress of your life, the turbulence of your mind, and you're channeling it into more vitality, more consciousness, more love. That's your way.
The combination of the intellectual capacity, the analytical capacity, the way Jaidev explains things to me made a lot of sense. I don't like to do things out of the blue just because somebody says so. And the teachings are very profound from my perspective, and it resonated with me.
Your projection and your mental attitude creates the context for the stress of your life. The whole idea of moving beyond worry and fear. But that's not stuffing the worries and the fears that you have. It's learning to develop the type of character, develop the type of nervous system, type of mental caliber that you know how to not indulge worries. Okay? It takes a lot of power to be able to do that, but fortunately, a lot of power. Question is, do you grab hold of it? That's what this immersion is about.